Written by U B. Name less feature film. Fade in. Act Fent. Panama City High Rise. Condo. Night. 2025. The skyline glows outside floor to ceiling windows. Q. Mid 30 seconds, relaxed but alert, watches a movie with his wife Natasha. 30 seconds, warm and spiritual, a peaceful moment. Thump. Q. Pauses the TV. Q. What was that? Natasha listens. Silence. Another sound, scraping metal. From the kitchen. Natasha. Maybe the neighbors. Q nods, uneasy. Q's legs snap, scream, crash. Natasha grabs him, panicked. Q, gasping. Run. Natasha, run. Don't look back. Natasha grabs a Bible off the shelf. An invisible force snatches it and hurls it through the 20th floor window. Glass explodes. The Bible disappears into the night. Natasha sprints for the door. Q writhes on the floor, helpless. I.N. Hospital. Days later. Q lies immobile, legs braced. Doctors whisper, confused. Natasha sits beside him, holding his hand. Natasha. Whatever that was, it's not done. Q stares back, terrified but determined. INT. Condo lobby. Day detectives interview residents. Everyone is talking about strange noises, shadows, cold spots. One name keeps coming up. Rebel. A whisper in the halls. A shadow in reflections. Int. Q and Natasha's temporary rental. Night. Q researches obsessively. Newspapers, archives, police reports. Every mysterious event in the building for years has one common element. The name, Rebel, scribbled on walls, floors, mirrors. Q. This thing has been here a long time. Natasha nods, shaking. End. High rise. Bathroom. Night. Thomas. 40 seconds. Showers. Steam fills the room. The mirror fogs. Words scratch into the condensation. Rebel is here. Before Thomas can react, a towel cord wraps around his neck and yanks. He's dragged upward, hung in his own bathroom. EXT. 23 RD floor balcony. Day Maria. 20 seconds, hangs clothes to dry. Her balcony door slams shut on its own. The temperature drops. Something lifts her by the throat, over the rail, and flings her off. She plummets onto Avenida Balboa. Montage, the death toll rises. A man forced into his oven until it explodes. A woman yanked out of her window. Lights flickering as shadows move with purpose. Police baffled. Residents flee. 23 deaths in 2 weeks. Act 2. Int. Rental. Night. Q stews in his wheelchair. Natasha prays. Q, this isn't random. It's hunting. Natasha, then we don't fight alone. A. Church. Night. A group of prayer warriors step out. Elderly, young, African, Caribbean, Panamanian, each carrying crosses, holy oil, and courage. They follow Natasha to the haunted tower.
Yinta, high rise, lobby. Night security cameras flicker. Lights pulse like a heartbeat. The group enters the elevator. As the doors close, a faint voice echoes. A ghostly whisper, OS. You shouldn't have returned, Int. Q and Natasha's condo, night. The prayer warriors form a circle. Q sits in the center in his wheelchair. Chanting begins. The room grows ice cold. Frost creeps across the walls. Lights pop. Glass shakes. A black figure materializes in the corner, swirling, shifting. Rabot. The truth is revealed. Flashback. A broken man wanders the streets decades earlier, commits terrible acts, dies violently, but his soul is rejected. Even no entry hell, no record books, no name. A lost soul, unwanted, unclaimed, enraged. Back to present. Rebel, demonic. No heaven, no hell, no peace. Only hunger. He roars, knocking over furniture, shattering windows. The spirit battle crosses glow. Warriors chant louder. Rebel lashes out, throwing one old woman into a wall, slamming another into the ceiling. Natasha shields Q. Natasha, in the name of God, you have no dominion here. A blast of spiritual force hurls Rebel backward. The room collapses. Walls crack, wind howls, the floor creaks. Rebel grows, massive, towering, swirling smoke and lightning. He charges Q. Q closes his eyes, whispering,
Q, I forgive you. Rebel stops, confused, shaken.
Forgiveness is something he has never received. Light orb traps him, shrinking, condensing, holding him fast.
He screams as the orb shrinks to the size of a fist. Then, silence. The orb drops into Q's hands, then dissolves. Rebel is gone. Or so they think.
Agatha, Tint, Kondo, dawn, dust settles. Emergency crews arrive. Q breathes steadily. Natasha kisses his forehead. Natasha, it's over. Q isn't so sure. INT, elevator, same morning. A janitor mops the floor. The elevator doors close. Lights flicker. A faint reflection appears behind him in the mirrored walls. Dark, twisted, smiling. Rebel, int, elevator continuous. The janitor hears a whisper. Rebel OS, heaven didn't want me, hell couldn't hold me, so now I will walk among you. His smile widens, the elevator lights go black, fade out. New kills darker, bloodier, more cinematic. The elevator bloodbath, early act 2. Residents pack into the elevator to flee the building. The elevator begins descending from the 35th floor. At floor 29, the elevator suddenly stops.
Lights flicker. A shadow forms behind an old woman. The elevator cables scream. Then, snap. The elevator plummets. Just before impact, Rebel's voice whispers,
Rebel, OS, you should have taken the stairs.
The elevator hits bottom. Bodies pulverized. But the doors slide open slowly, calmly. Light flickers. Blood drips out. Rebel walks out of the reflection. Pleased. 2. The pool murder. Stylish. Unsettling. A man swims laps in the rooftop pool at night. Fog rolls over the water, even though the air is warm. He rests at the edge. A handprint forms on the water's surface upside down. Before he reacts, an invisible force drags him under. We see his body thrashing through the water from underwater point of view. He's pulled deeper, but the pool isn't that deep. It stretches, becoming impossibly dark. He drowns in a pool that suddenly has no bottom. Rebel's silhouette stands on the pool deck, watching. 3. The stereo execution, psychological kill. A young woman plays loud music to drown out the fear. Her stereo begins blasting her own screams, but she isn't screaming. She sprints to the front door. It locks itself. Windows slam shut. The stereo whispers, Rebel, OS. I remember the sound of fear. Yours is beautiful. She's thrown against the wall, crushed as the room bends inward. 4. The hallway crawl, creepy as kill. Security guards review footage in the lobby. A resident is crawling down the hall backwards, his spine twisted. He's lifted by invisible hooks, hung like a puppet, dragged across the ceiling at impossible speed. Then the camera feed cuts to black. On the monitor, a new message appears in blood-red static. Rebel lives here.
5. The car crush, outside kill. A resident flees the building and jumps into her car. The doors lock themselves. The radio comes on. Rebel, OS. Running only makes me hungry. The car crushes inward like a soda can. Her body implodes. Rebel walks past the wreckage, satisfied. 6. The bathroom mirror. Slaughter. Very visual. A young couple argues in their bathroom. The mirror cracks. The reflections stop moving. The reflected versions smile, but the real couple doesn't. Hands burst from the mirror, grabbing them. Their bodies are pulled inside, carved apart in reflective shards. Their blood splatters cleanly back into the real world. The mirror repairs itself. New lore, the nature of Rebel. Rebel is not just a ghost, he is a rejected soul, something extremely rare. 1. The three realms reject him. Heaven scanned his life and found no light in him. Hell scanned his soul and found no darkness with a purpose. The Book of Life had no entry. The Book of the Damned didn't recognize him. He was a soul with no classification, meaning no destiny, no assigned afterlife, no judgment, no purpose. Such souls are extremely dangerous because they are not bound by any realm's law. So Rebel became a self-directed anomaly with one instinct: to be seen at any cost. 2. Rebel feeds off fear energy. Rebel's strength increases when people argue, people panic, people feel hopeless or trapped, people call his name in anger or fear. Fear is his food. Despair is his oxygen. Hatred is his power source. That's why he targets tall buildings and crowded complexes. 3. Rebel can manipulate physical space. He can stretch hallways, twist gravity, remove oxygen from a room, bend walls, turn reflections into portals. He doesn't haunt a building. He rewrites its physics. 4. Rebel can't possess people, but he can influence them. He whispers to the weak-minded. He pushes people to suicide. He twists dreams and turns them into sleep paralysis. But he cannot inhabit a body. He can only torment it from outside. 5. Rebel's one weakness. Because he was never accepted by any realm, forgiveness cripples him. It reminds him of the one thing he never received in life. Q's forgiveness shocks and weakens him because Rebel has no defense against grace. Rebel's human backstory. This is how Rebel became what he is.
Flashback Panama City Slums 1980 seconds. Rebel's original name, Cristobal Rebel Montes. A boy born into poverty, violence, and abandonment. His mother overdoses when he is 7. His father beats him and then disappears. Cristobal grows up on the streets, silent, angry, unseen.
13 years the birth of Rebel. At 13, Cristobal is recruited by a gang. He is small, quiet, and obedient, perfect for dirty work. He becomes known as Rebel because he never follows orders. He always acts alone. His kills are theatrical. He leaves messages at his crime scenes. Rebel was here. The police fear him, gangs hate him, everyone avoids him. Adult years his fall. He becomes a ghost in society. No ID, no home, no relatives, no records. He kills those he believes ignored him. A teacher, a pastor, his childhood neighbor, a gang leader, a politician. Every death more elaborate than the last. But he also kills innocents just to feel powerful. The death of Rebel, age 38, cornered in an abandoned building by police. He sets the building on fire, refusing capture. The building collapses on him. Rebel dies smiling, but when his soul rises, heaven does not see him, hell does not want him, his name is not in any book. He is a soul without identity. A glitch, a leftover, a mistake. Rebel's first haunting. He awakens in the ruins of his building, unseen by everyone, screaming but unheard. He discovers he can influence the physical world only through fear. His torment begins, and he spreads. Eventually, he finds the high-rise condo, and he never leaves. The close of Vol 1.